who are adoption advocates in Ireland. Now, this is a very disturbing case, but many of the people who are looking at this saying, well, that's not happening anymore. That was a very dark time in our history, or saying that we had very high infant mortalities. We just had a story breaking that only 4 years ago, we had our government doing experiments on premature babies, varying the amounts of oxygen that they were given. In many cases, killing them or leaving them with brain damage. Too much or too little oxygen can either brain damage a child, especially a premature child who is in a very delicate condition, or it can kill them. Now, we need to understand that our governments are morally capable of doing this. Many people just reject the information that we give people, that there is so much that's harmful in vaccines, because they just can't believe that those in power, that big pharmaceutical companies would put things like that in their vaccines. They can't believe that governments would allow these types of things to happen, even if the pharmaceutical companies would. So people on the right will believe that the pharmaceutical companies of big business can't be that evil, or they would be shut down with lawsuits. People on the left who tend to trust government can't believe that government would allow this type of thing to happen. And yet we see over and over again that it is not only the big corporations, but working in partnership with the government, experimenting on the most helpless people in our society. And of course, this is only 2,000 children that were only 2,000 over a couple of decades. Well, to put that in perspective, over 3,000 children are killed each day in the United States on average with abortion. And of course, that is with their mother's consent. I would say that's not with an informed consent. But recognize that medical authorities say that it is not ethical, all legal authorities say that it is not ethical to give consent when you know that it is harmful to someone's life. And yet we still see experiments being done on premature babies, depriving them of oxygen or giving them too much oxygen. We still see the government requiring that people have vaccines containing mercury and formaldehyde. As this researcher who uncovered this said, what I found is just the tip of a very large and submerged iceberg. These trials were published in the most prestigious medical journals, and it suggests this type of human experimentation was largely accepted by medical practitioners and facilitated by authorities. Well, you know what? It is still accepted by medical institutions and by the authorities. That's what we're trying to get people to understand. Now stay with us right after the break. We have a special report from Jakari Jackson talking about how Americana symbols are being banned at the same time we have illegal children coming into America in vast numbers. And we have a full report from Kit Daniels, Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, and Josh Owens on what's happening at that base in San Antonio. Stay with us.
My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only 2 ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with nascent iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of nascent iodine, exclusively available at INFOWARSLife.com. Nascent iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality nascent iodine today at INFOWARSLife.com. That's INFOWARSLife.com. This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the Survival Silver Solution. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.
In today's politically correct climate, where even a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is considered racist, it's no surprise that schools are teaching students to shun patriotism. A Coney Island principal has banned her students from singing another, quote, USA song. Another needs to be emphasized. When asked about her decision, Principal Greta Hawkins reportedly said the teachers didn't ask permission to do it. In California, a school banned students from wearing American flag t-shirts on Cinco de Mayo. Some said the act was offensive to students of a different national origin. With all that said, if American students are being discouraged from indulging in Americana, why are immigrant children being housed on the taxpayers' dime? Children from South American countries are surrendering to American Border Patrol so they can be whisked away to American military bases that cater to their needs.
We're here at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, where one of the former basic training dorms has been reappropriated to house about 2,000 illegal immigrants.
Wow.
And we found the area where they're being housed. It's barricaded with fences all around it with privacy screens to try to keep people from looking into it. There's several porta potties in the area. One that even says restricted for youth only, indicating for the illegal children, illegal youth immigrants. Also, we saw about two 18-wheeler trailers from HEB that are likely there providing food.
And for people who don't know, who aren't from Texas, HEB is a grocery store. Go ahead, kid.
Yes. And also, I got some footage of several loads of trash. To back up, I talked to the Lackland Public Affairs, and they told me that they were not on the lead on this housing these immigrants. The Department of Health and Human Services, and I believe it's the Administration of Family and Children in particular of HHS, is in charge of the housing and processing of these illegal immigrants. And they have actually subcontracted it to a group called BCS out of San Antonio, which is a nonprofit faith-based organization.
There is nothing wrong with wanting to come to the United States, but you have to do it the legal way. Foreign children who are purposely dropped on U.S. soil receive housing and legal representation. But if a U.S. serviceman accidentally crosses into Mexico with a firearm, he gets thrown in jail. You can find more reports at INFOWARS.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. Today I'd like to talk about the war on women. You've experienced and heard about the benefits of super male vitality. Now, the new formula has arrived. Introducing the new Super Female Vitality. I have specifically designed this formula to help the body naturally regulate itself without the use of artificial hormones. Key ingredients chosen from the highest quality sources. Each of these ingredients works synergistically with the female body in order to maximize overall vitality. You've heard the reviews and the feedback on how the original Super Male Vitality has revitalized relationships. Now, both the man and the woman can have the revitalization in their own bodies with Super Male Vitality and Super Female Vitality. Secure your Super Female Vitality today from our limited stock at InfoWarsLife.com.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
I'm Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs here with Kit Daniels. We're at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, investigating thousands of children who are being housed here illegally.
Hey, yes, my name is Kit Daniels, and I was calling to see if I could interview a public relations officer this afternoon in person.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that this afternoon, probably not. Here's the reason why. Because here at Lackland, we're housing them, but we're not really directly involved. It's the Department of Health and Human Services thing. And so they're taking a lead on all of the information and everything like that.
What kind of access can we get on base?
None at all.
None at all?
No, sir, because we're not doing any media visits. We had one media day, and that was last week, June 5th.
So you're not...
No cameras involved or anything like that, but we're not allowing anyone access over there. We can't.
So you're not allowing media access whatsoever on base, but you're only allowing it on certain media days where you allow journalists to come into a press conference? Is that correct?
This particular day, we had a media day. That was the only day.
Okay.
No photos or anything like that.
So you had a media day, but you didn't even allow photos or cameras filming anything?
There was no media day. No cameras.
Over the past several weeks, America has been hit with a flood of tens of thousands of illegal immigrants as rumors spread across Central America that Obama is allowing immigrants to stay. And he's doing just that by selective enforcement of existing immigration laws, as well as new policies by executive actions that are allowing immigrants to stay in the country even though they came here illegally. Now, to respond to this wave of illegal immigration, the Obama administration is setting up temporary housing across the American Southwest to house thousands of immigrants. And unfortunately, they're being housed in unsanitary conditions. And all of this is because Obama and his federal bureaucracies are encouraging immigrants into the country illegally.
Lackland Air Force Base is essentially a FEMA camp proving ground. I mean, right now, we have thousands of kids in here with food, with water, with cots, shelter, music, playing soccer. Right outside the gate, a whole bunch of homeless veterans. This is another part of the VA scandal as well. We are flushing away $2 billion, $2 billion for these kids being flown here, and yet we have people who can't get appointments from the VA. I mean, this is mind-blowing.
Now, one of the ways the Obama administration has encouraged illegal immigration is through the Homeland Security policy known as the Delayed Action on Childhood Arrivals. Now, this was initially enacted in 2012, but now it's been reenacted for 2014. What this allows is for children of illegal immigrants to enter the country and not face risks of deportation for 2 years, essentially granting them amnesty. And to put it in perspective, these children here in Lackland alone is costing American taxpayers $250 a day to feed and house them. Compare that to the lack of feeding and housing that we are giving our homeless vets just outside the gates. Now, if you think the current situation is as bad as it's going to get, you'll be surprised if Congress passes amnesty. This is Kit Daniels and Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs reporting for INFOWARS.com.
Well, that's it for tonight's news. Stay tuned right after the break. We've got that special report from our vault about the connections, the conscious connections between Palantir and the evil characters of J.R.R. Tolkien. Join us tomorrow at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Much has been said about the big tech companies that were implicated in this slide from Edward Snowden's documents. It's eroded confidence in their integrity and damaged their business. But what about the PRISM program itself, where people are profiled by data mining the intercepted digital communications? Some have suspected that the company behind PRISM is Palantir. I've often thought that the Palantir from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings were the perfect metaphor for the internet. In the book, the Palantir were crystal balls that allowed the possessors to communicate and to see things. Eventually, they fell into the hands of the evil forces, and using a palantir, not only revealed you to the villain, Sauron, represented by